Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jen and today we're going to be looking at different ways that I manage my chronic illness throughout the day. And I'm going to start the day, excitingly, changing my bed sheets. And this is because I have Addison's disease and I experience night sweats quite often. So we're starting with a really glamorous task. And then I have to reset my joints that have moved out of place overnight because I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypermobility type. So this is also another very pleasant task. And I'm so glad I started the video with this. Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday. I'm sitting here in my room. I have my toast and I have my protein smoothie. My hand has a really bad shake in it this morning. I imagine my blood pressure is quite low. But I tried to make a conscious effort to make a nice breakfast, or not really a nice breakfast, but like I suppose something more substantial, because today I'm starting a new medication that you're meant to take with food, and oh Jesus, I was ready to be defeated by the child lock instantly. But it can make you quite nauseous, and some of my other medication can make you nauseous as well, so they recommend you take it with food. So okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and flick through some emails, and the workday hasn't really started yet. I'm up over where I should be logging in, but I'm just gonna kind of wind into it, eat, and then do some stretches. I'm feeling really tired today. I feel really lethargic in general. Yesterday I felt actually pretty okay until about, I think it might have been around 1 p.m, and then it's like I hit a wall, and it's a combination of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome symptoms, hypermobility symptoms in terms of chronic pain, and Addison's disease, adrenal insufficiency, where I wasn't sure if my cortisol was dropping for a reason I didn't know, because I had huge pains in all of my bones and I just felt like I couldn't function. My eyes got really dry, so I took an extra dose and just went to bed for like an hour, and then when I got up, I didn't sleep. I find it hard to nap nowadays because of the steroids, I think, and because I'm generally healthier, which is revolutionary considering I spent the last 11 years napping consistently. But yeah, just feeling a little bit strange. And today I feel like I still have a level of that tired. The bone pain is gone, so I don't know. I think it might have been really to do with where I am in my cycle, because that always affects everything, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm just going to take today how it goes. I have a few meetings, I have a few groups I need to run, things like that, but hopefully it'll be okay. With this new medication as well, you're not meant to drink that much coffee, even though I usually only have like one a day or one every 2 days, depends if I'm bothered or not. So I don't drink coffee majorly anyway, but I presume that also means, like, you know, having a Diet Coke or things like that I should probably limit. So yeah, let's see how we feel throughout this day. I thought it was interesting to kind of do a little video on just all the different ways I have to consider my health throughout the day, like waking up in the morning and making sure that my ribs are in place before I move too much, or I take medication at 4 a.m. and then I take more medication at 8 a.m. and then I aim to get up at like 7:30. Like things like stripping my bed because I get night sweats sometimes, and last night was one of those. Taking eye drops because of my dry bloody eyes, which isn't an everyday occurrence, but it is at the moment. Yeah, things like that impact my ability to work and study and move and just be in this world like anyone else. So yeah, let's do it.
so irreplaceable. And everybody knows I want you, but I've always been so invisible to you. But I'm just waiting on you to pull back the curtains. And I've been standing on the sideline, waiting till the time's right to make you mine. 'Cause ever since the first time you opened up my world.
You're wobbling because you're balanced on a foam roller. I'm on my yoga mat on the ground, and I guess I was just thinking that, you know, one of the most frustrating parts of being chronically ill, or the part that you'll never be prepared for but also simultaneously never get used to, is how much of a guessing game it is. Like, so much of being sick, being disabled, is a guessing game. Like, for example, so since I have woken up this morning, I think I mentioned it earlier when I was eating, I've had a pretty bad tremor in my hands. I'm trying very hard to stabilize it there if I tense all my joints, but I've actually had a tremor. It feels like a full body tremor, and for me, you know, you're left with these kind of obscure symptoms that most GPs don't know about, and Google can be confusing and all of those things. So you're really trying to intuitively listen to your body, but the ground underneath your body changes every day. So what's intuitive one day is almost the opposite the next day. So it's confusing and it's hard to balance. So for me, I think the reason I have these tremors today is either a joint instability issue, which is an Ehlers-Danlos thing, or an electrolyte imbalance, which is an Addison's thing. And so whilst I've been eating, doing some emails, just kind of waking up, I guess, I've been thinking about what's more likely, and I think because it feels like a full body instability, I think it's probably an electrolyte issue, rather than if it was localized to my hands. My hands are the most obvious, but in reality it's my elbows, my joints, my jaw feels a little bit shaky. It's very hard to describe, I guess. So I assume it's an electrolyte issue because that's all of the information I have. And because I had some night sweats last night and then got up this morning and, you know, showered and all of those things, potentially didn't give my medication enough time to sink in before I did those things, I am going to assume it's an electrolyte imbalance. So I'm going to have my electrolyte drink that I'm going to have to support with two hands once I drink, because I can't hold it. And that's another thing, is if it was Ehlers-Danlos and a joint instability, it'd be usually just my right hand that would struggle. But because my right hand, I suppose, is the one I write with, it's also the side I sleep on more, so my shoulder can be loose in the morning. But it's both hands today, so I think we'll just drink this and hope. But it's a very frustrating aspect of being sick, is the mental work that goes into identifying your symptoms, trying to make them better, all of this quietly in the background whilst everyone else expects you just to live like they're living. And that's really, it's very debilitating in itself. It's like a whole other type of debilitation. And it's fine on days like today where I feel well enough to record, because mentally I feel okay, and yeah, I have the shakes, but I don't have a chronic migraine, I'm not vomiting, nothing is dislocated, all of those things. So even today is kind of a false representation of the reality of my health, because on the days that are skewed so far in the other direction, I'm not going to film. So it can feel frustrating. Yeah, anyway, I just need to drink this. I hate electrolyte drinks. They taste, it's not even that they taste bad, it's like the texture of them is thicker than, like, I don't know, it feels different. Okay. I'm going to see how that goes and see if that helps. Usually I can tell if it's an electrolyte issue if it helps pretty quickly, but typically my electrolyte symptoms are not like tremors, more just generally feeling weak or like headachy, dry mouth, that kind of thing. So this will be a bit different, but I'm going to do my stretches and try to get this day started in a way that sets me up to keep working as long as possible, in a way that's okay for my body, I guess. So yeah, we'll see. Hello. So I was just doing my emails and I was about to use this and I realized this is actually a way in which I manage my chronic illnesses, specifically hypermobility. So part of hypermobility with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, at least for me, is that I have terrible posture because it takes so much for my muscles to hold myself in place. It's just really exhausting, mainly, but I struggle. So I can tend to, when I'm, you know, doing PhD work or like working or whatever, I can be very like this, kind of collapsed into myself, and then afterwards at the end of the day I'm like really conscious of my neck pain, and my shoulders are more likely to dislocate. So I use this, which I think is called the Upright, and yeah, it's just called Upright, and it's a tiny little device with a sticky back on it. I'm just going to turn it on, and I place it on the back of my neck, or top of my spine, not really back of my neck because I'm trying to sit upright, and it's linked to an app that monitors my posture. So essentially it tells me if I'm dipping forward like this, yeah, it's turned red, it gives me 15 seconds to correct it, or it gives a small, really small vibration. It's very gentle, like it's not jarring. But when I'm sitting for hours and hours at a time, I find it really helpful to remind me to sit up, because if I'm stuck in one task and ADHD hyper-focusing, I tend to, I'll just get more and more slumped like this. So this pulls me up. So I usually calibrate it at the start to my posture, even though my posture doesn't really change. So this is the aim I'm going for, is kind of sitting upright. Calibration successful. I recommend you use it for about an hour a day, because it's enough to build a habit, and I find it really helpful. I've been using it for, God, might be nearly a year now, but probably really consistently since I started going to a chiropractor and doing my stretches and using Adrenal to straighten out my shoulders for like 20 minutes a day. So this was fun. It was a tiny little find I found on Amazon, I think, because I've seen people who use like braces as like posture correctors, like things to actually hold them back, but I just found those really restrictive and scary. Like they made me quite anxious, whereas this is nice. It just gives a really small little vibration, definitely helps. I use it as well when I'm doing long drives, because I get tired and I can like collapse behind the wheel. So it definitely has impacted, I suppose, not just my daily posture, but also my sleep at night, because I don't need as many painkillers or that kind of thing, or like muscle relaxants and things like that. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to work, but that was a small little side note. So once again, it looks like no time has passed. It's actually 3:30. I just feel like time has passed so fast today. Part of like, some days with ADHD feels like the day is so slow, and then some days I feel like I lose chunks of time. Today's one of the days I lost chunks of time. I look so sick and tired because of the yellow walls and how the lighting is. Or maybe I just am sick and tired. But anyway, something else I do for my chronic illness to manage is this isn't really a chronic illness thing, it's a hay fever allergy thing. I put in nettle drops, stinging nettle drops into my water throughout the summer, because it helps with hay fever. But my hay fever is worse when my chronic illnesses are, or when my adolescence is less managed, I've noticed, which is kind of, I'm after spilling some. I don't have a tissue. Ooh, I'm gonna just use my hand. But yeah, that's something else I do. Like, in reality, besides making sure that I'm hydrated and taking my meds at the right time, I do think I prioritize probably moving my physical body. The evening is very much about moving and rehabilitation after a day of sitting, because I spend so bloody long sitting. So like, it's 3:30 now, so I'm going to do some PhD work and at this desk, and because I have my 2 fold-out desks, I have my writing desk and I have my work desk, so I flip between the 2 of them depending on what I'm doing. It tricks my brain into thinking I've changed location when I haven't. And yeah, I'm going to do some of that, and after that though I will have to probably go for a walk, either on the treadmill or go to the beach if I feel like going for a bit of a longer stretch. But yeah, so I have my water here. Nettle drops taste exactly as you'd expect. Green, leafy, slightly alcohol-y. There's like an alcohol-y taste, but that's probably what's added to the drops. So I'm gonna sip on that and keep going. All right, it is 7 p.m. ish, and I am out with my friend the treadmill. I decided not to go to the beach, even though I'm sure it would be like more enjoyable. I just don't really feel like it, and I'll probably go tomorrow. But yeah, it's important for me to do a lot of walking in the evenings after sitting. Like, stretches are really important and all of those kind of things, and I found them really helpful, but nothing seems to be as helpful for my lower back as walking. Which I remember when my chiropractor first said that to me, I was like, that seems a bit easy, but she was right. So yeah, I am gonna do a walk. I have my iPad, so I'll probably watch some Netflix or something and do that. But then I'm thinking about how my lower back, to be honest, is really sore. I think I was right in thinking that my joints and stuff being loose earlier and like that instability might have been linked to my period, because I have cramps right now. So mystery solved. Mystery, the monthly mystery solved. But I'm thinking of going for a bath with some like magnesium bath salts and things, so that hopefully that relaxes my muscles enough to help me sleep. Yeah, so, but first things first, we have to move, we have to walk, so this will be great. Hello, it is 10:30, I think. Yeah, at night, and I am getting ready for bed. I'm so tired. I had a really nice bath, but I now have a really terrible headache that I'm pretty sure, I don't know. Once again, everything to do with chronic illnesses is such a guessing game. I don't know if I sweated so much because the bath was really hot that imbalanced my electrolytes. I've had an electrolyte drink since and everything, and I feel mildly better, but not really better. I don't know. So I just feel kind of out of it. But yeah, before I go to bed, I'm going to do some stretches and hopefully then just curl up and fall asleep. But before I do, I'm going to prep my meds for the morning. So I use little tea light holders that I've obviously cleaned out. One where I put my meds to take steroids in the middle of the night. That's because your natural cortisol starts to rise from about 4 AM on to prep you for waking up. So I'm trying to mimic a healthy circadian rhythm. And then in the other one I put in my medication to take like an hour before I get up, which is the highest dose of steroids in the day, which means that when you get up and you're moving around, you're not starting the day in a deficit already. I'm explaining this so badly because I'm so tired. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really appreciate you watching. Yeah, I feel really like strange actually. I don't know if I'm actually really tired or if I'm feeling a little bit genuinely confused, which I know is a symptom of low cortisol. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna go to bed. Thank you for